This is Fritz Frivolous with continuous live coverage of the corner of Curious Lane and Just Because Boulevard, the epicenter of the alien invasion. And this just in, King Kong is fighting the Mobile Suit Gundam. And of course, all of this is happening amidst World War IV, making it pure pandemonium. If only Captain Planet were still alive to save us all. Dude, could you imagine? James Bond's Aston Martin, the Scooby-Doo mystery van, the ectomobile used by the Ghostbusters. Vehicles designed to accomplish a specific set of skills for the driver behind the wheel. Some may be equipped with state-of-the-art gadgetry and technology. Others may be somewhat sentient with feelings all their own. While another just might be a normal, badass vehicle able to go from 0 to 60 in 2.4 seconds. However, what if these fictional vehicles were real? What if you could climb behind the wheel of your own personal megamobile? Which would you choose? Let us take a drive with two of the industry's most stunning stunt drivers, Will and Tom, as they shift into gear to answer this question. Welcome back, everybody. This is Tom Case.
This is Will Stark.
Well, I actually was thinking about this question a long time ago, but I couldn't really pick the exact parameters of this.
Okay.
So I don't know how the parameters are going to be for this question, other than that I'm going to give you 3 examples to pick from, right?
All right.
But if you do have another option, after you tell us what your option would be between these 3 choices, give us what you would want to pick. Because I know that there is more than one answer to this, because there's many choices, trust me, when I ask you.
I'm just so in the dark right now. I don't even know how to react.
I know. And then I'm going to ask the question and you're like, oh, is that it? Like, okay. What if you could pick one fictional vehicle? And the 3 examples I have to choose from, because I feel they are very different from each other. Mm-hmm. One is the Batmobile, any iteration you would like. One is the DeLorean, not a DeLorean. I'm talking about Doc Brown's The DeLorean Time Machine.
Gotcha.
Or Ghost Rider's Hell Cycle.
Sorry, I wasn't expecting that. Okay, so the first thing I gotta ask you is why are you limiting me to these 3?
So
I'm just so curious.
I know. I mean, I wanted to see what, because these 3 vehicles are so different. I know there's other vehicles that are so different too, but there's a lot of them that are the same. Like when I first thought about this question, I entered all the different
there's all kinds
vehicles.
Of vehicles.
Yeah, exactly. And even included some vehicles that weren't even in the same category. I had what if you could choose the Millennium Falcon? But then I also had the Scooby-Doo mystery van, and then I had stuff like that. So after I started thinking about that, I was like, well, that's kind of too much. You know what I mean? Because for example, why would you choose the Scooby-Doo mystery van when you can travel in space with the Millennium Falcon? Okay, hold on. Right?
My question is, why were you trying to make a list at all? Why isn't the question just what fictional vehicle would you choose, and then just see what I would pick?
That's true.
I mean, it's okay. We can do these parameters. I'm just you've never done it like this before. That's why.
That's the reason why I wanted to do it differently. Than
Okay, understandable.
But that's why I did say after you would pick between these 3. If you had another one, what would you like? If you could have any of them, what would you pick?
Okay, so my first question is, does a Ghost Rider's Hell Cycle turn me into Ghost Rider? Because aren't they tied together, the cycle itself?
Yeah, they are tied together. Actually, here's a little bit of a Fritz fact here.
Okay, cool.
So the Hell Cycle is the common mode of transportation of Ghost Riders, right? Because if you don't know, if you're listening and you don't know much about the Ghost Rider, there's been more than one person who has been dubbed the Ghost Rider.
Yes.
Right. And the actual Hell Cycle was created by Mephisto himself. Mephisto being the Marvel Universe's quote unquote devil, right?
Kind of.
He's kind of like the devil. It was created by Mephisto as the steed of his bounty hunter and the spirits of vengeance. Mm-hmm. The Hell Cycle is capable of moving at incredible speeds, moving up vertical surfaces, across bodies of water, and at sometimes capable of flight. And it also has the power of, I don't know what you would call it, but you can give it any command, it'll follow your command.
It's got a certain level of sentience to it.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
Absolutely.
So to answer your question, I would say, yeah, it would have to be, because any one of these that had ever used the Hell Cycle was a Ghost Rider.
Well, yeah, that's absolutely true.
I guess that
There's
would be...
a lot of baggage that comes with being the Ghost Rider. Like, being the Spirit of Vengeance ain't an easy job, so I'm kind of not interested. That's immediately off the board.
Yeah, I was going to say, I do like the powers of this vehicle, but that is a major drawback, because you can't do what you want to do when you are a Ghost Rider. You know what I mean?
No.
You have to go out there and...
Yeah, you have to, like, do the duty of the Spirit of Vengeance, but also, like, being the Ghost Rider automatically makes you the enemies of all these evil entities that are going to come
Yeah,
to your
that is
ass.
true. Exactly.
So this brings me to my second question. When you say Batmobile, number one, are we talking about a specific Batmobile?
No. Any iteration of the Batmobile.
And I think, specifically in the animated series, I think the Batmobile kind of... doubles as also his Batplane. All others, like, they go into each other. Like, his Batmobile has the Bat Cycle.
I didn't think about that. You're right.
Yeah, I think the Batmobile can. I think they plug and play, right?
Yeah, in the animated.
Is that an option? Do I get the jet, the boat, and the?
I'm gonna say, you know what?
You want to limit me to the car?
Let's say no. Yeah, let's just say no for now. Because, but that's very interesting. You brought that up. I didn't even remember that.
Yeah,
and you are right.
Okay.
However, I would have let you use, because we all know in the movie, right, Christopher Nolan's Batman, the Batmobile in that one, he has the Bat Cycle, quote unquote.
Yes.
Yeah. So
and that,
I would have allowed you that because it already has shown it. But you know, having this vehicle and then also like, oh well, now it's a plane and it's a boat and it's a motorcycle. You know, like.
Okay, well,
or the time traveling DeLorean. This DeLorean does have the flux capacitor, which does work. Yeah.
I'm just gonna say right now, I don't like any of these options. I really don't. I hate all three, and I would never choose these ones. And I'm gonna go with the DeLorean, but I'm gonna tell you why I don't like that as a choice. It's just, of all the types of time machines that you could have, it's kind of one of the worst. It's gonna stick out like a sore thumb to almost any time period you go to. And a lot of time periods don't have the terrain that the DeLorean can even fucking handle to get to 88. You know how hard it is to get to 88 in that piece of shit of a car? Okay, so we're DeLorean. We're doing Back to the Future 2 then. DeLorean.
Yeah. Just like with the Batman.
Okay, that's better. Okay, then I'm easier. It's easier for me to pick the DeLorean then. Because my worry with the DeLorean is I go back in time to, I don't know, the prehistoric times.
Yeah, and then you wouldn't be able to.
And then something happens. I can't get out. I can't get to 88. And then I'm stuck.
Yeah.
But if I could fly, it's a little, bit easier. Better. What were you about to say?
Dang, I was just going to say, now I feel like I should have went, no, Will, you can't fly. It's only that.
Yeah, because
make it harder.
I was thinking original movie before the the last scene. Yeah. And I'm like, you're fucked. You're fucked almost any time period you go to with that thing.
Yeah.
So they're all bad choices. And the reason the other ones are bad choices, Batmobile is just too, what am I going to do with that? It's going to go real fast? Cool.
It's too,
it looks ridiculous.
Like what you could legally do with it.
Yeah.
It's like just go fast.
Yeah.
And even that might be illegal depending on how fast you're going.
Yeah, and like, I don't think that thing could ever pass a smog check.
Yeah, and I don't think you'll ever use any of the weapons that are on there.
I'm not going to go be Batman. And then we already discussed why I'm not going to do the Hell Cycle, because I'm not going to be the Spirit of Vengeance.
Yeah, that would
I got other things I want to do. Yeah. So I'm going to do the DeLorean, and I'm going to be honest, I'm probably not going to use it.
You would just do the DeLorean but just not use it?
Yeah, I mean, I'll just pretend that it's a Back to the Future like replica.
Yeah, if I had to choose only between those three, it's so funny. I would choose the DeLorean, but because of the reasons you don't want to use it, I would choose it for exactly that reason. I couldn't help myself. I would probably mess something up in the past.
Yeah, that's another thing too. It's like, you got to worry about the whole time continuum thing, and the DeLorean's going to fuck everything up.
Yeah. And I know myself. I would not be able to resist temptation and purposely try to change something for my life. Oh, you know what I mean? Okay. I know that would something like that would happen.
Now, if I got to choose any vehicle, I don't know, man. That's tough. Do you got one?
And this is the reason why I limited it to these three, because I thought these three were very different, and because if you're going to say anything, I would choose the Starship Enterprise. You know what I mean? Like any vehicle, I would choose that. You know, there's no way with the amount of technology that's in it.
No,
you know
here's the thing about your choice.
Okay.
You're going to need a crew If you don't have a crew, you're not taking that thing anywhere, anyhow, at any point in time.
Actually, the computer on board can get you places if there's only one person on the ship.
Really?
Yeah, there's been
then
a few instances.
What's the point of it being so fucking big with so many people?
So, okay, it can't do everything on its own. But I mean, if you're just talking about going from one place to another, you can tell it, computer, send me let's go to such and such location.
Can it dock? Can it do all the other stuff?
Oh, you know what? I'm assuming there is like a autopilot mode for docking. And the only reason I say that is because actually I think it's in the first episode of the first season of Star Trek: The Next Generation. Jonathan Frakes, who I'm a big fan of, he plays Will Riker, and he's supposed to be Captain Picard's like number one, right? Mm-hmm. And he wants to. Obviously, Will Riker wants to impress his captain. Yeah. So, and Captain Picard wants to see what his first officer is made of. Okay. So when they're docked in the space station, and he tells them, I think Will Riker gives the command to like undock and go about their business, whatever they're doing, and Picard says, "No, I want you to do this manually." And so he had to do it himself. Mm-hmm. So I'm assuming that when he first gave the command, obviously he wasn't doing it himself. There has to be an autopilot for that. Docking and undocking.
He did say manually. He didn't say yourself. He said you want you to do it manually. So you're right.
Yeah, I would think
it has some sort of automatic thing that was voice activated. Okay. All right. That's fair enough. Now I just wonder why the hell it's so big. What's the point?
Yeah, I think it's because the main point of the vessel is for space exploration, and they have tons and tons of different divisions of like these people study star systems, and these people study.
It's like a flying college.
Yeah. Okay. Essentially, it's like a flying college / laboratory. Sure. You know what I mean? Okay, like they have absolutely. A lot of
All right, that's fair enough.
Mm-hmm. And I don't think the computer would be able to handle to do everything plus all that. Yeah. You know what I mean? So
now here's an interesting thought. If like you chose the Enterprise, and I thought about the Enterprise for a moment there, but my line of thought was, what if I asked for the Enterprise, got the Enterprise, and then I could just give the Enterprise over to, scientists and stuff so that we could then develop more of these, and then we can actually, as a species, get faster in light travel. But I don't know if I want to do that. I don't know if I'd want to do that or not. No, I'm telling you my thought process.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. It's hard because it's like most of these vehicles are going to like either land me in trouble or just cause me problems.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard.
Like what? I could pick a Harry Potter broom. That sounds like a death trap. You know?
The Nimbus 2000?
Yeah, the Nimbus 2000. I'm going to kill myself with that. Plus, I'm going to get like shot down or taken down by the government.
I mean, there's also, there could be bad implications on picking a car that's sort of sentient. Like, I don't know if have you heard of Herbie?
No. What's Herbie?
So, man, I just dated myself again. So, because I'm old, Will, there was this, it's called Herbie the Love Bug. Okay. Right. And, they actually made, probably for your generation, your time frame, they remade the original. I think it was in the 90s.
For you young whippersnapper. Yeah.
For you young whippersnappers. And, I think it was Lindsay Lohan when she was first starting out acting.
There's no way I've seen this movie.
Yeah. Will is secretly a Lindsay Lohan fan. Yeah, diehard fan. He has all her movies now. No, but it was Herbie the Love Bug, right? Mm-hmm. And it's this beetle that like was supposed to be in like these races, but it like I don't think it doesn't like talk or anything, but it knows what you want. You know what I mean? It does stuff on its own. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of I don't know if sentient may be the right word, but it has like its own emotions. It has its own. You know what I mean? Yeah. But like there's cars like that, or if you went with like a highly do you know Knight Rider? Or oh my God!
I heard the name. I don't know what it means though. I don't know what it is.
So he has this. I think it's a Camaro, right? It's a black Camaro that looks really cool, and
like these are things I've heard my parents talk about when I was little.
And so, like during in my day, right, that would have been like the most technologically advanced vehicle around during that day because like. it had like kind of like weapons on it and everything. It had a defense system in it,
like a Batmobile,
kind of like a Batmobile, but it would talk to you.
Okay,
like it that one actually did seem sentient. So, but I don't know. Just like, would you call? Well, I guess Iron Man now uses Friday. Mm-hmm. Is Friday sentient? You know what I mean?
It's like, an AI. It's an AI.
Yeah. So it was like an AI that he called Kit. Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. And so he would talk to Kit and he would be like, Michael, because that was the name of Michael Knight, right? Mm-hmm. That's why he called Knight Rider.
Sure.
And he'd be like, Michael, da-da-da-da, and they would have quips back and forth.
Okay, for sure.
But I'm old, so let us stop talking about that and go to something that...
I think if I'm going to pick a fictional vehicle, I need to pick one that doubles as a home. Mm. Just like a place to live. Because I'm thinking to myself,
I didn't think about that.
Like... I'm going to want the convenience factor, right? So you pick the Enterprise. I think that's actually a really good choice.
And you could definitely live on there.
And you could definitely live on. So I don't know enough about Doctor Who to make this call, but I know Doctor Who, who's a Time Lord. You know anything about Doctor Who? Because I barely do.
Yeah, a little bit. Okay, that's actually one thing I've
My extremely limited understanding of Doctor Who is that he's an immortal being called a Time Lord. I think he's the last one. I don't know. I'm sure one of our listeners knows. Either way, he has a... quote-unquote vehicle called the TARDIS
that's looks like the phone booth?
It looks like a phone booth on the outside. But inside, it's this entire, I think, like, spaceship-like or house-like environment.
I didn't know that.
It's a time machine. He could travel through time with it. But basically, it can disguise itself to look natural wherever it goes. Okay. But inside, even though from the outside it looks small, inside is actually quite spacious, and it doubles as his home and his vehicle. I think I'm going with the TARDIS, even though I know nothing about Doctor Who. It just seems like the thing my soul would cry out for.
You just answered...
Because he can travel space and time, different planets, different time periods on Earth. Like, he can go anywhere at any point in time in the universe.
See, I never knew that about the TARDIS. Like, I knew what it was called, and I knew what it looks like usually from the outside. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that it was like that on the inside. Mm-hmm. In my head, because I've never watched it, I just assumed...
That was like Bill and Ted?
Kind of, yeah, I did. I was kind of like, okay, well, they made this show that's kind of based off Bill and Ted. Like,
no, that show is way older than Bill and Ted. I think it goes all the way back to
I think that was the 60s.
Yeah, even maybe late 50s, I'm not sure.
Oh, really?
It's really old.
And this Time Lord business, I didn't know anything about that too. I always understood it where it was like different iterations of him, like when he would travel to
I've never really watched any episodes besides the one, I don't remember the name of it, because he's always dealing with like interdimensional beings and aliens and stuff like that. But there's one where there are these statues of this church, and they're like angel statues, and they're not really statues. They're actually a type of interdimensional being that have either been bound, or there's something about them where as long as you're looking at them, they cannot move. Like, they can't exist in this realm and they're stuck as a statue. But when they're not observed, they can, like, move freely and quickly. Weird. And so, like, I just remember scenes where it's like, they're getting surrounded by these things, and, every time they look away, it almost gets them, and you gotta look, and suddenly they're, like, there goes from nothing being next to them to suddenly they look to the right. There's a statue, like, reaching out right about to get them. Oh my God. It's a really crazy, like, concept, and I remember thinking, like, this show might be really cool, and I never really got into it or tried to watch it, but that's you now know everything that I know about Dr. Who.
Yeah, that is weird.
I've shared everything.
I actually thought you were going to pick another type of like space, exploration vehicle.
You know what?
Like the Millennium Falcon maybe, or
a very, very small split second, I thought I was going to be self-congratulatory enough to pick the Brunhilde from Super Quest Saga. Oh, yeah. Because like low key, that's like my dream ship. It's why I put the players in that ship. That would have been cool, yeah. But I'm not going to do that. But I picked the TARDIS.
Bringing up Star Wars though, let's say if you did have like a choice between the three, Millennium Falcon, a TIE Fighter, or an X-Wing.
Then the Millennium Falcon, you can live on that. You can't live on the other two.
Yeah, those two are like one piloted, or what is it, like two pilots can fit in them?
Two in an X-Wing, one in a TIE Fighter.
Oh, not two in the TIE Fighter?
Pretty sure it's one in a TIE Fighter.
One. Yeah, I do like the Millennium Falcon, how it's big enough to where, you can't, whenever I always watch that movie, I always look at the Millennium Falcon almost as a souped up Winnebago in space. You know what I mean? It's the RV.
It's more like I think the more proper equivalent is it's like take the shell of like a piece of shit vehicle. I don't know, like a Pinto. I don't know. But underneath the hood, it's actually like a fucking Ferrari.
Yeah.
That's what the
Millennium Falcon
I
would do that with like an RV. If you could somehow put a Ferrari or whatever into an RV, because of the fact that they do live on there, you know what I mean? And, and it's big enough that that's what you can do.
Yeah, it's big enough to live on. But it does have that RV kind of feel because it is kind of cramped a little bit. I understand what you're saying.
You know, one of the other vehicles too I wanted to put in here was, you remember, I think we had a conversation on this with Jurassic Park, the little bubble, that like round bubble thing.
Stupid orbs.
Yeah, I was thinking about that because at first I was thinking, well, that should be pretty good for like, for somewhat of protection, but then I remembered how easily it seemed to break when it came up against one of those dinosaurs.
No, they're made of glass. They're just glass orbs.
I know.
No, they're the dumbest thing ever.
I know. So then I thought, you would have to have it made out of something else.
If I were to live on a fictional spaceship, I would actually choose the Milano from Guardians of the Galaxy way before I'd pick the Millennium Falcon.
Is that the name of their ship?
Yeah.
Oh, I never remembered the name of it.
He says it in the first movie.
The Milano?
Yeah, I think it's called the Milano. And it's gorgeous. It's got like the orange and blue. It's got a cool shape to it. And it's got way more space than the Millennium Falcon.
Oh, that would be actually pretty cool.
I love Guardians of the Galaxy. Even just, if you sliced them and just took them out of the Marvel Universe, I just love the product that James Gunn has made with this narrative and these characters and the world and how colorful and well designed it is. Like, I love Guardians of the Galaxy and I really love Star-Lord's ship.
Well, that answered my other question too, because I was going to bring up the fact that I wanted to do different categories as well and be like, okay, ground vehicles, air vehicles.
Okay, we can play that game.
Vehicles.
So Milano's my space one.
Yeah, because I was going to put in there for like a flying vehicle, the Quinjet, the Avengers Quinjet. You know, but you're right. It would be better to have something that's
that one is space, and the Quinjet's not space. So, like, if we're talking like just air, Quinjet's not a bad one because it can go invisible, and I do like that.
That is true.
That's something I do like.
Or the Furies, the Shield, the
helicarrier.
The helicarrier.
No, I look at the helicarrier, and I'm just like, we are destroying this planet.
Yeah,
like the fossil fuels it must take to keep this thing aloft. Like, there's no way.
Not to mention the fact that I just think that it's just too bulky.
Well, yeah.
I mean? Like, it's just,
is.
It's just too much. The Quinjet might be better because it's more maneuverable and it still has, like you said, like, because the helicarrier can go invisible too.
Yeah. Yeah. As for land vehicle, I don't know. I'm just not attracted to any fictional land vehicle. I can't choose like a living animal, can I?
A what?
Like a living creature, like a horse type creature, like a steed. Can I choose a magic steed?
Oh, like if...
Does that count as a land vehicle?
Yeah, okay, why? What would you pick?
I have no idea. I just...
I thought when you brought up the steed thing, I thought you were going to bring up Shadowfax from Lord of the Ring. The horse that...
No. One cannot own Shadowfax. Shadowfax is the Lord of Horses. It is essentially a god amongst men.
And he only comes to you when if he feels you're worthy of it.
Shadowfax is owned by no man.
That's true.
Anyways.
Now that we got that...
Now that we got that out of the way. I don't know. A steed, huh? A steed. I'm not sure. I got to think about this.
Or you know what? I don't know. Could you ride an Optimus Prime? You know what I mean?
Or like a steed
or Bumblebee though? Like I guess
number one. I don't want Transformers in any way, shape, or form to exist. Do you see how much destruction they cause just walking down the fucking street? I know. And then we're supposed to be like, ha ha ha, they're so funny. I hate those fucking movies.
Yeah. Oh, the movies were horrible. The movies were horrible. But I was just thinking but if you had the car, like if they stayed in the car and you could drive them.
Oh, yeah.
But then you're right. It would be like
I guess, they're a steed when they're in vehicle form.
But then other than the cool factor, it would be like the Batmobile. When are you going to ever want them to transform and become either Bumblebee or Optimus Prime or whoever? For what reason? Like, what are you going to use them for when they're in that form? Yeah. Like, there's no reason to.
There's no reason.
Other than to people go, ooh, cool.
Yeah, that'd be terrifying and horrifying. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like if I think about it overnight, I'll come up with the perfect steed. But here in the moment, I can't think of, like, the perfect steed.
So the only other category then that leaves us is a water traveling vehicle, which I haven't even thought of.
A water
vehicle? I can't even think of, like, a fictional... Or not even fictional, like what would...
Captain Nemo's submarine would be pretty cool.
Yeah, that would be cool.
No, that's the only cool one that comes to mind, though.
Yeah.
That or Dr. Evil's stupid fucking Pinky Out submarine.
Yeah. I was thinking about that if, just like with what you were talking about, like with space and stuff, where you could... have a vehicle where you're traveling in that's big enough to live in, yeah, I would have to pick something like that. You know, what was it in, what was it called? The Life Aquatic? The one that had like...
Never saw it.
Yeah, I never actually saw it either, but I know that the vessel that they're in, isn't it huge? Because they don't, like, they have their own rooms in there.
I have no idea.
I've never
even seen a trailer for this thing.
I would probably choose that for a waterfaring vehicle.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So spacefaring, you would pick...
Milano.
I would pick the NCC 1701-D Enterprise. And so air, you would pick...
I guess the Quinjet, but that's, again, for lack of being able to think of something else.
Yeah, I would pick the Quinjet as well. I almost picked the Bat plane.
It's the invisibility that gets me.
Yeah.
Like, I like the privacy. The ability... Because, again, if you just have, like, an air flight in this world, like... Mm-hmm. Militaries are going to try and take you down all everywhere you go. You can't just fly freely.
And I did like the size of it. It wasn't huge.
I don't know how I'm going to pay to fuel that thing.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm going to ride it till it's done, and then I'm done.
Yeah. And then I guess what was the last one? Landfaring?
I think overall, I'm just going with the TARDIS. Because honestly, out of all those vehicles, like, I still would want the TARDIS over all those other ones.
I think I'm still choosing the DeLorean. Okay. I couldn't. I would not be able to help myself. But dude, could you imagine?
Breaking news, a new study suggests leaving an iTunes review is very important for newly created podcasts. So to nurture your new favorite podcast, make sure to leave an iTunes review. This has been Fritz Frivolous, reminding you to like, comment, and subscribe. Will and Tom, back to you.
Hello, this is Fritz Frivolous. You may recognize my voice from the podcast, Dude, Could You Imagine? But anyway, if you are out there, if you're listening and you need help, you can find safe haven if you head up to Big Bear Mountain. I am located next to the structure known as the Ice House. I have food and supplies and water, and I have all the issues of Dude, Could You Imagine? We could listen to all of them, anyone that you want. Anyways, be safe out there. Good luck.
And we're back.
Indeed.
So, Will, I actually have to thank you for this question.
Oh,
since
interesting.
You
You're
mentioned
welcome.
It today, earlier.
Oh, did I now?
Yes, you did. And it started to make me think. I was like, you know what? That is actually...
was this when... Okay. This was right before we talked about possible Halloween episodes, right? No?
Yeah. I think it was before that.
God, I wish I remember what I said.
I know. Well, I'll tell you right now. What if the world ended in a nuclear holocaust? How would you survive?
Well, I need parameters.
So the parameters is there's a nuclear holocaust.
Okay.
Boom, right?
Yeah.
Most of the world's population, let's say there's only 25% of the world's population left.
Sure, okay.
Right? And
pretty evenly distributed, we'll say.
Yeah, pretty evenly distributed. And there is mutations, nothing like a mutant with powers or anything like that. No. There's not going to be anything like that.
It's just the bad kind.
It's, the bad kind. Yeah. A more realistic, what would radiation cause kind, right? Okay. You know what I mean? There is very little water left, and there's very little food left, like natural, like plants and stuff. There are some. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to say there are none. Yeah. But it's scarce. Mm-hmm. And the parameters are, I just wanted, to be honest, the objective actually of this question is, I just want to see what your steps of survival in that type of an environment do you think you would do? And then I'm going to throw you some curveballs.
Okay, I don't even know where to begin with this one. Like, where am I in all this? Like, am I located near, you said there is some water and food? Like, do I know where this water and food is? How do I know where this water and food is if I do?
You don't.
Okay.
Actually, yeah. I think realistically, let's say you would be here. You know what I mean? Like, I guess in your normal life.
The first thing I'm doing is, like, while it's happening, right? So, like, the bombs are dropping. I'm hearing all this news. I think the first thing I'm doing is finding a way to get online and download as many survivalist guides as I can onto some flash drives. But even then, what am I going to do? A fucking power source. I guess I don't have time to go to the store. I was going to get a power generator. I need a power generator. I need a truck. I have an SUV. So I could probably get my hands on a power generator by stealing it because the riots are in the street. So yeah, I'm downloading survivalist guides as much as I can before all the servers and everything goes down.
Okay.
I'm getting
that's smart, actually.
Power generator. If I can't, I think they make. Is there solar power generators?
So,
because God knows I'm going to need solar because gas is about to not work in 2 months.
Mm-hmm, exactly, and I've actually heard about that they do make a certain type of but I don't know how powerful they are.
I just need, basically what I need is I need something to charge the computer, the laptop.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I'm going to be using the survivalist guide to get through. So let's just theorize that I get this generator. And it's solar powered enough for me to run my electronics off of it. And I get a few good survivalist guides. I guess the first thing I'm also trying to figure out is how close am I to the danger zone of like the radiation? You know what I mean? If a bomb goes off in LA, I'm pretty sure we're in the zone of getting fucked.
I think we're in the danger zone.
Yeah.
You're far away enough that if you spend a limited amount of time outside, you're okay. Okay. We'll put that in the parameters.
I think then the first thing I'm trying to do is to look up natural water sources that are as far from blast zones as possible and then make my way there so I can at least set up a base of operations and then make some plans. Obviously, I got to get my family and we're going.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's generally the first thing I do. Also probably figure out a way to arm myself as quickly as possible.
Yeah, and I was thinking to myself too because like I would imagine that there has to be pockets of structures, stores and whatnot or whatever that would be relatively undamaged enough to where they would still have the stuff inside.
I don't know, man. That's why, like, for me, the first thing I need to get is the generator. And because I think the first thing most people go to is trying to get the guns. You know what I mean? Like, I've already, like, dashed that hope of getting guns at all in this mayhem. I need to get the generator. I don't know. Like, that's the thing is, I mean, at that point, now that I've secured, like, the ability to live for a little bit, I don't even know what we're going to do about food, but yeah, then it's trying to secure whatever my best options for weapons are at the time. If I can find a gun, cool. What about ammo? I don't know. Like, just go from there. I'm not the kind of person that sits there and, like, I know a lot of people, like, they're what are they called? Not survivalists, but,
yeah,
people who think of, is that what they're called?
Oh, doomsday preppers and stuff?
Yeah, I'm not, I know there's doomsday preppers, but even outside of that, there's plenty of people that like think about like, what would I do if the zombie apocalypse happened or if this happened? I am not one of those people. So I am throwing the track down in front of the train right now, and I'm like trying to figure out what to say because I have never given this thought.
Well, as you as you admit yourself that you're not like a doomsday prepper type person or a survivalist, neither am I, but at least you did have very logical ideas of what to do at the very beginning. Because
my first thought was, I don't know what to do. I should read a book. Oh shit, there are no books. The whole world's burning, but maybe I can get online fast enough to download, information that I know exists on there. So.
Well, real quick to finish my thought though. It's like, I'm not also like, I don't consider myself a survivalist or a doomsday prepper. However, I do think about certain like things like that a lot. And my answers are never practical. Like I think they are until you just answered that. And I'm like, oh, you know what? That would probably be the more smarter choice, because I would be someone who's like, oh, well, we got to go somewhere that's, my thing, to be honest, is I would want to get away as far as I can from other people because of the fact that I know sooner or later those other people are going to probably pose a big threat. You know what I mean?
It depends. So, like, my plan would be, again, get to a water source far from those blast zones, according to maps. Because the thing is, the other people that I'm probably going to run into there are going to be the smarter people who did the same thing and or probably have way better survival skills than I do because it's a miracle I've even made it this far. And my hope would be that, like, we as a group of, like, I don't know, 20 to 100 people could be, like, fortify, okay, this is our new fucking village.
I know.
It's time to build a wall. We gotta build a wall. And humans are notorious for working together. It's what we do. In our DNA, we are a tribal society. We're a tribal species. I guarantee you, the first 100 whatever people that get there will band together because they're gonna realize, like, well, there's enough water here for us. So we need to protect each other and stay together.
Yeah.
So it's like, get to the water source, try and like bridge the community together, start building the wall, and start pulling resources and pulling skills in order to start generating food and protection. I think that's my goal.
See, but then there would become that let's throw that curveball, because you are right. I do believe that humans will work together. The problem of that would be when these like-minded humans all agree on, well, we have enough people here to take over that people. You know what I mean?
Oh, I mean,
let's go take their,
that'll
you know
happen down the road. I'm worried about that immediately.
Yeah.
That's why we're trying to form these protective walls and stuff like that, and arm ourselves. And like the cold hard truth is, there's probably going to come a moment, maybe a generation down the road, maybe 10 years down the road, where we will see an opportunity for more resources, and maybe we can do that peacefully, and maybe we can't. Like, this is a new beginning, and like maybe we need to form like a new like region of city states that work together. I don't know. Like, that's so far into the future. I'm just trying to survive, get to this place, form a community, form a protection, and then keep it going from there.
Yeah.
Like,
it reminds me of a long time ago when I first started in this job, and I was working with someone who's no longer with the company, is no longer working with us right now. But I remember I asked him, because he was a very avid like survivalist. He was a survivalist. He was very proficient with weapons and guns and things like that. And we came across a similar situation, a similar question I posed to him about, but it was like a zombie apocalypse type thing. And I remember him saying, well, I already have everything I need, and I could survive immediately without any contact from the outside for at least a few months at the very least. And I told him, I said, oh, really? I was like, well, I know the first place I'm going, when that happening. And he said, like, no, I have enough for me. Right. He's like, if you come, I'm using my weapons on you.
Right, exactly.
So it made me think, like I wonder how many people, would be willing enough to do that. Hopefully you would think that they would be smart enough, because I think that's the smarter choice. You gain more people, you have more, more security, more, skills from other people who know how to do other things.
There's no world in which living by yourself for the rest of your life is probably going to work out. Because even if you do manage to have everything you need to survive, you're probably going to go fucking insane. Because like living alone, like permanently, in a permanent sense, is extremely damaging to the human psyche. It's why a solitary confinement can be one of the worst punishments you can ever give a person.
Yeah.
Like, no matter how introverted you tend to be, chances are, like, you do need regular social interaction. I mean, hell, I'm pretty sure this quarantine proved that for a lot of people.
Yeah, especially with some of the things I've seen people doing afterwards, now that they're able to go back out.
Exactly.
It's like they lost,
But that being said, also, like, again, we're stronger and better with numbers. Because, like, the thing is, I would imagine in this community that may or may not form around this water source that I've made up, like, where you're going to divide up skills, you're going to find out, okay, who here is medically trained? I happen to be medically trained. I have some valuable skills I can bring. There's other skills that I could probably bring too. Like, I mean, ones that are maybe lesser thought of, but like, I'm a musician, right? But that's good. It means I can get on the guitar around the campfire, tell stories and or sing, and
boost morale
and all that other stuff. Other people are going to be trained in weapons and in hunting and in foraging and in growing food and gardening. Like, think about like older folks who are retired who have a real green thumb and have actually really cultivated their skill
that's like
of how to grow a garden.
Yeah.
Like, they're super fucking valuable now, because guess what? You need to grow as much food as well as possible, and this person knows what they're doing. Like, and you need all these different skills, more skills than any one person can probably get in their entire life, to really create a community that flourishes and survives. You need people who have an understanding of just basic engineering or architecture, right? Because you need to build walls that are really good at keeping other people out, that are easy to defend, that will last a long time.
Yeah.
That are made of materials that you know where to get them from. You know what I mean? Like,
keep the muties out.
Yeah, exactly. Keep the muties out. Yeah, all that other stuff. Like, that's how I'll do it. Just survival guide, generator, get to a water source, hope to fuck I can form a community, because otherwise we're screwed.
Real quick too, I wanted to go back to where you said, like, oh, I need a book like to survive or whatever. And you're like, oh fuck, there's no books or whatever. Well, if you were able to get your hands on this beforehand, I guess, or be lucky enough to maybe find it somewhere. I remember my dad did have this book called The Anarchist's Cookbook. And it was full of things like that.
It's a very famous book.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. And it had just plenty of things like, what if you didn't have these materials? This is what the alternatives you can use to maybe make a small battery or
and that's what I would hope would be in these things that I'm theoretically downloading.
So if we threw a curveball to you, and let's say you didn't get this community, right? But let's say a gang of 15 people, right?
Like normal people or like
muties,
crazy muties?
Yeah, crazy muties.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
What kind of tactics do you think you would use? You would try to use if you wanted to survive from them?
Like what's the context? Are they like rolling up on me and by surprise? And now I'm just like surrounded.
No. You're in. You
spy them.
Yeah, you see. They know you're there. You know they're coming to you, but they're not there yet.
Well, then I'm leaving.
You would just try to run.
Yeah, I have my car. Well, I guess that doesn't run anymore, does it?
Well, they have a car too.
Okay.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah. Okay. So now it's like Mad Max out here.
That's actually the reason that when you were talking about that movie too.
Am I armed? You know what I mean?
How lucky did you feel of you getting a weapon? Like, how likely do you
Oh, no, not at all. Not unless I got really, really lucky.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to say you don't have any kind of firearms. But you have a knife.
So, okay. Well, let's rewind it a bit. So let's say I find myself in this situation where I am up there. I'm not finding any people to form the community. I'm doing my best to survive based off what literature I do have.
Yeah.
And I don't have weapons. I think if I'm out here for at least a few weeks, I'm going to start seriously consider we need to figure out a way to defend ourselves. And so, I mean, I might spend a lot of time up before these muties show up. I'm
sorry. I just love that. I just love that word. And hearing you say it makes me so happy.
Before they show up, I might have already spent time not developing, but setting traps throughout my surroundings.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't got any other choice.
No,
I mean, they might not be great traps. They might not be the best well hidden, but they're going to be obstacles.
Yeah, that's a good answer.
And I think the next, are they armed? Do they have guns? Do I know if they have guns?
You don't know.
Okay, well then I guess
other than seeing unranged, let's say melee weapons.
Yeah, melee weapons.
Yeah, you don't know if they have.
The thing I'm doing is I am taking my family through my forest of obstacles that I've created, putting them in the best hiding spot I can, hiding myself with, I guess, a baseball bat. That's the only thing I'm confident enough in using.
Yeah.
I'm not trained in anything. I don't think I'd be proficient enough with a sword. Maybe a spear. I know they used to arm the peasants back in the day with spears because they were one of the easiest things to defend yourself with.
Maybe a machete.
I don't think.
Hack and slash.
The thing about a bat is it's got the right weight and a good amount of length on it. So I think I'm going with the baseball bat if I don't have a firearm.
Yeah.
Hoping that my traps and stuff slow them down or at least filter them or take a few out. And then I can take out a few and maybe I can try and pull off an intimidation technique of yelling and screaming and holding up fucking bloody heads.
Yeah.
To scare them away.
Yeah. If you could get a good licking or two and kill them and show them I'm crazier than you motherfuckers.
Yeah.
But no, that's a good,
Or here's another thing. This is just random. If I happen to know where a predator, let's say I'm in a mountainous area and in my time up here, I've actually located a bear cave. I might lure them out to the bear cave. Fuck it. The bear might get me, but the bear might get them too. Fuck it. Come get me. I might go that way. But what were you saying?
Oh, no, I was just going to say, I know you're explaining this to me and the look on your faces, you're like, well, I don't really know. No, I think those are really good tactics because if you're by yourself, or not by yourself, you're with your family at least. So, you may have some help. But, that type of, what would you call it? The tactic of preparation and stealth. I would definitely be using those. You know what I mean? Those, because there are people out there who would probably just try to come out. Oh, I would try diplomacy.
No,
I don't think that's going to work. You know what I mean? Or two, they would be like, well, I'm going to go out there and show them I'm tough as it. That's probably not going to work as well either. You know what I mean? You would want something, you need to be prepared. Preparedness is going to probably be your best friend. And then stealth. Not letting them know your exact location at least if they find out where your camp is, whatever you want to call it.
I just thought another thing that I would probably try and get my hands on in the early times of this happening would be some sort of frequency radio. That way, if people are putting out, hey, come to this location, we have water, we have food, I might give it a go. You know what I mean? I might I might make the journey. Obviously, I'm going to approach with caution, but that's going to give me a much better chance of survival. Because in the first scenario, I'm going to a place and hoping a community forms. Yeah. In the other way, I'm putting out feelers to see if there are communities forming, the one that I might be able to join. You know what I mean?
I don't know why. I just picture you like Legend. Every morning you're waking up and going to this.
Pretty much.
Yeah, and you're like,
yes, exactly.
Hello, this is Will Stark. I'm up in the.
Oh no! I'm not doing that. No! I'm not doing that.
I'm in Lake Arrowhead.
I'm in Lake Arrowhead.
I'm in Big Bear Mountain.
No, I'm not sending out. I'm listening.
You're listening for it
because I don't think any individual should be out there sending out.
Well, you would hope somebody is.
Well, no. I don't think individuals should.
Oh, individuals.
I think
you're
if
talking
you
about
have
if
a community,
community,
I don't know, if the military of a military base managed to form a community, you know what, and they want to send out to get people to come, then that's a good idea.
You know, that's something interesting. I would never thought about it that way. I would have thought it, and I'll be honest with you, there's probably many who would, not be a part of a community and still send out a message just so that they think that they can.
Because here's the thing: if
join up with someone.
I was an opportunist piece of shit psychopath trying to I had my own posse going on here, then those are the first people I'm going after. Are you kidding me? It's like some woman and her child has a bunch of supplies and is looking for help. Guess what psychopath's about to find her? This one. That's a terrible idea. Don't do that.
It's like, what psychopath with two thumbs is going to take all this lady's and her child's supplies? This guy.
Right. And that's way too dangerous. It should only be strong communities putting out feelers like that.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
That would definitely be the smarter way to do that. Okay. One more curveball here. What if you found out you were becoming a mutie?
Can we define the muties?
Okay, so let's just say you start getting physical deformities.
Okay.
To the point where you are rapidly going to probably die, but it increasingly becomes infectious. Let's say.
Oh, I'm suddenly contagious?
Yeah,
that's weird. Not? That's not how usually that stuff works.
Yeah, I know, but let's make it interesting.
Well,
okay. Let's say you're not infected.
I mean, that's less interesting because it's going to lead to me quarantining and then probably killing myself to save my family.
Oh, then I was going to change it and not be infectious, and say that it actually will drive you mad. Like the longer you live with it, the more unstable your behavior becomes.
And I'm aware that this is the final outcome. I got the mutie disease. I know I'm probably going to go people I'm going to go crazy in the next month or so.
I don't know. I guess that would depend on how many, if this happened in your community now. Let's say you didn't know that. No, that wouldn't be, you know what I mean? If you didn't know that.
You would probably know if the mutants were crazy. Yeah,
exactly.
So
if you know that, I feel like your answer is still be the same.
Then I'm just going
to quarantine yourself.
Well, no, not the contagious part, right?
No, you're not contagious, but you're going to become rabid.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to do everything I can with the time I have to spend time with my family, but also make sure that they're prepared for after I'm gone. And then, I'll have a discussion with my significant other of where's the line where I need you to take me back and shoot me. And she'd shoot me. I know her. She'd be like, yeah, okay. Just she would want me to do the same to her.
Yeah.
She's like, all right, it's got to be done. Here we go. This is the line.
This is the reason why
she's a very logical person.
This is the reason why I wanted to bring this up.
Yeah.
Is because I know my wife first of all, my wife is terrified of zombies. And we've always talked about what if, there was a zombie apocalypse. And anyways, she told me, she's like, well, if you ever got infected and you're going to become one, she goes, I love you, but I'm going to kill you.
Well,
I'm going to shoot you.
That should be a mutual decision. See, for sure.
I know. I don't know if I could do that. I would be,
really?
You know what I mean? I know it's easy to say now because it's not happening. You know what I mean? But I just imagining, even though I'm knowing that this is going to happen, but she's not there yet.
That's what I mean. You have to discuss where the line is.
I know.
And then once that line's reached, you're like, oh, we're here.
Yeah.
And like, you know, she's green and is trying to go for your neck. So it's like, okay, cool, kill you. Like, she's already dead.
Yeah.
You realize she's already dead, right? She's already dead.
I mean, it's just, thinking about it, like, I'm already sweating now thinking about
I forgot.
this
I'm talking to the dude who won't kill his own cow to eat it.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I don't, like, you know, I also wouldn't want somebody else to do it. I would want to be there for that last final moment.
Yeah, sure.
God, that is so heart-wrenching, though, just thinking about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
But, dude, I don't want to imagine this.
And that is all we have for you tonight. We will continue to bring you up-to-date coverage as new imaginings develop. Please don't forget to leave an iTunes review, like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Remember, you can follow us on YouTube and on Twitter at DCYimagine. And if you would like to contact us or tell us what you are imagining, you can email us at dudecouldyouimagine@gmail.com. This has been Fritz Frivolous, and from all of us here at Dude Could You Imagine, keep on imagining.
We need to run a game on this podcast where it's like, it's been X amount of episodes since Star Trek has been mentioned.
Star Trek, Mortal Kombat, and Lord of the Rings seems to be getting...
Lord of the Rings, yeah, that's true, but Star Trek definitely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
and Star Trek has been winning, like...
It's too funny.
lead.